Hello, hello, hello. Does this smile look like I won in court? Damn Mormons. They don't know shit about the law. They think they do, but they don't. They don't. Stand up for yourself. Somebody says you're an idiot, say no. You're the idiot. I had a good time. This is the third day with the BARD. I'm fresh out of the courtroom. And, I've got my kangaroos. I let them in the house. They're jumping around. It's like a party, I give ice cream to the kangaroos. They like that. I don't know why, but they eat a lot of ice cream here. Anyway, now, I haven't won the court case. Today was what's called a preliminary hearing. In other words, can you fix this, you two bozos? If you can't, we'll set it for a court date. So let me tell you. Let me tell you how this works. Because you don't know, and you're getting screwed. I walk in. I have an 8 o'clock appointment to the court. The guard comes up to me and he goes, your name? I said, Sir David the BARD. Pay me, lay me, and ail me. Don't cut my throat. He said, we know who you are. He said, go down the end of the hall, turn right, and go in the big room. I said, okay. I'm compliant. I'm not over there to make trouble. I go down where he told me to go, and I walk in, and here's express recovery. They own the whole room, I guess, or are using it, and there's like 28 people at tables writing, single moms, draggy little kids, bums, beards, no count people, you name it. They're all there. Well, this Express Recovery Services is one of the most Nazi-run organizations I've ever seen. And you know what? My old grandma used to say to me, the fish stinks from the head down. They were right. Mr. Edwin Perry. Look it up on your computer. The BARD don't lie. The BARD don't lie. Edwin B, I think it is, like in boy. Perry. Attorney, Utah. That's all you got to hit in Google. And every dishonest page in the world will come up. Look at his reviews. Every one of his reviews. Read them. This is the most dishonest man I've ever met. He's a liar. He's a cheater. He's a thief. There's no one that's ever hired this guy that's made a comment that I can find. Thinks he's an attorney. They think he's a big turd with 4 feet walking through town getting default judgments. To get a default judgment is easy. It's not a thing that an attorney knowledge has to do. Anybody can sue anybody. And if the people don't show up in court, the judge is going to give the plaintiff or the defendant whatever they want. That's how easy it is to get a judgment by default. It means you didn't show up. You didn't defend yourself. So this asshole today, I went into his parlor. Should have had a red light out front. Anyway, I sit down at the table. I'm not trying to be obnoxious. Okay. The BARD lied. The BARD lied. I was trying to be obnoxious. So I sit down at the table, and this missionary guy, about 25 years old, comes over to me, and he hands me this piece of paper and a pencil. I look at it, now all the other people in the room, oh my God, they bow their heads and say yes, and cut my throat, cut my heart, cut my stomach. I don't. I look at it, and it says, Express Recovery Services. And I looked at the bozo, and I said, you know what? I don't have to fill this out. This isn't a court form. This is your form. You have to fill it out. I said, watch this. I wanted that son of a bitch and threw it. The judge will make you fill it out. I said, no, he won't. You're wrong. We will see. The old Mormon. We will see. We will excommunicate you. I said, fuck you. I'm out of here. So I go down to the courtroom. And here's a guy that looks like Santa Claus. Now, one of my ideas, because I don't have to obey the laws of ethics like an attorney does. This guy looks like a Santa Claus. So when I go into court, next court hearing, I'm going to have a Santa Claus beard and white hair on. Who's going to say anything? It looks like a Santa Claus fight. So if he says, Your Honor, the BARD is trying to make fun of my hair and my beard. I request that you have him removed. Hey, Your Honor, tell him to remove. Get a shave. He can dress like that. Why can't I? Fair is fair. Anyway, this is one of the tactics that's coming for Spanky. I'll tell you what I did. I call him Spanky. This is brilliant. It's brilliant, folks. Listen. We go into court. I have Allison with me. Oh, she wanted to know about the court, and she carried my camera in, and the guard said to me, There's no photographing in the courtroom. I said, Yes, there is. I'm handicapped. I notified you guys a day or two ago, told you I was bringing the camera. It's called a reasonable accommodation under the federal Americans with Disability Act law. Pass. Go ahead. They don't know anything about federal law. They only know Mormon law, which is bow your head and say yes. So I go in, and here's Santa Claus, and I'm telling you, I wanted to say racetrack. It is a mill. It is a mill. That attorney stands up there, and there was like 120 people, and they didn't show up. I told you, if you get sued, show up, and make sure you write back to whoever's suing you, I don't owe this money, you're a liar, we'll let the court decide. If you don't do that, you will be in that list of that asshole that was up there. So the judge will say, did they show up or whatever? Says, nope. Request a $300 warrant for their arrest. So 100 people, warrant for their arrest. Warrant. Judge has no choice. The people received notice and they didn't show up. Don't do that. Not legal advice. Goddamn. Common sense. Anyway, he's standing there. He's going through all these people. And he leaves the room. And then the judge says, well, now we're going to take the 830 people. The BARD. I stand up. Pay me, lay me, ale me, wait, Judge. Says, yes. I said, Your Honor. Now, I'm respectful to him. He was good. He seemed very honest. And he seemed very objective. And so I said to him, it appears that you've moved on to the 8:30 people, and I'm an 8 o'clock person. Am I out of order to stand up and say anything? And he goes, no. He said, Express Recovery said they had one more case. It's probably you. I said, Your Honor, it probably is. But that case should have been called. He says, well, and I says, they're not here. They're out of the courtroom. And one of the little girls that she runs to go get the main guy with the big head and the beard. So he's in the courtroom because I was going to ask for a default judgment. And mine is $49,500. He's running back into the room. So he's standing there. And I'm standing there. And the judge says to him, what's this about? And he says, well, it's a medical bill, and he owes $236. And he looked at me. He said, what's your side of this story? I said, Your Honor, I got a payment. I got a billing review from the University of Utah Hospital yesterday that says I owe $0. He's trying to collect money fraudulently. This is not owed according to the University of Utah. Well, Your Honor, we bought this debt and they certified to us that this is a real debt. And he went, the Reformed Egyptian, he went on. I said, Your Honor, I said, listen, this guy said he did due diligence. That's a phrase in the law. Due diligence, which means responsibly, he looked up that debt, and he certifies it's a real debt. So I said to the judge, he didn't do any due diligence. He's lying. Now the judge's eyes go like this. Because I can say that. He can't say that about me. He's an attorney. He has to stay ethical. So, he says to the judge, I should put an attachment up here so you can see some of the communication. He says, Your Honor, he sent me 2 emails that were vile and vicious. And I said, wait a minute, Your Honor, there's no vile and more vicious than the way he's treated me. And the judge just looked at both of us and goes, I'm not getting into this. I'm not getting into this. He says, is there anything else? I said, yeah, he ruined my wife's credit. My wife's not a party to this action. And he reported it on his credit report, and it's on her FICO score. He says, well, let's not try this here. Let's not argue this out here. Let's set it for a court date. He says, now, Mr. Recovery Services, Spanky. I said, Your Honor, his name is Spanky. He said, you set this hearing. I said, Your Honor, excuse me. He did not set this hearing. I set this hearing. He had no intention of taking me to court. He was just bluffing and trying to pull my chain. I'm the one that said, hey, let's have a court date on the 18th. Okay. Said, well, you want to set it for March 24th. This is good with me. And Spanky said, yeah, it's good with me too. And he said, all right. He says, now, I'm going to order both of you to have all of your paperwork filed with this court before February 19th. That's 30 days before the hearing, so we can see what's going on here. And then Spanky was upset, and he gave away his process, his, boy, I wish I had my words. He gave away his plan process. He says, well, Your Honor, he has a counterclaim. And the judge says, well, we'll hear the counterclaim at that time too. He says, well, he filed vicious emails. The judge goes, we're not getting into this. He says, I don't care what he filed. There's no law against filing emails unless it's, technical harassment or it's something else. He's threatening you with a death call or whatever. So anyway, so we set the court date and we left. Now, I went back to the recovery services room to the asshole that said to me, we'll see. The judge is going to order you to sign that. Here's what I'm telling you, people. It's not true. If you scare easily, it's true. So he was working with somebody, whipping him, chaining him, had him waterboarding, trying to get $112, So I interrupted. I said, listen, you said we'll see. We did see. He didn't say a word about me having to fill your crap out. I was right. You were wrong. And he gives me the missionary smile. He doesn't have one damn word to say because no one stands up to these people. He's never heard that before. Let me tell you something. When he pushed that paper across to me, he indicated that it was a legal document. That's against the law. That's against the law. Under the Fair Credit federal law, he's not allowed to present something that he indicates is a federal document or a court document, and he cannot give to you a court document and say, hey, don't worry about it, it's no big deal. Those two things are illegal. And then threatening me is also illegal. So I'm going to do an amended complaint and add his ass in there. Jesus. These people can't say or do anything right. So anyway, we came home. Now, I decided on my own, pay me, nail me, to write him a new email. Now, the email that he said to the judge was vile and vicious. He didn't bring in. You know why? Because I looked him up as an attorney. Jesus Christ. He's barely an attorney. He's had a public recommend, or not recommend, there's the Mormons, reprimand that has almost every violation in the world in it. They reprimanded him. I think it was 2010. It's a link down below, so if you want to see what kind of an attorney this is, take a look. It's public information. Don't kill the messenger. He railroads people through. He doesn't follow the law. And one of the Google hits that I did said that one of the violations was a felony. Now, why he didn't get prosecuted, it's the good old boy in Utah and the good old boy with the law people. They don't prosecute each other. But one of the violations, Google said, was federal. So anyway, he doesn't tell the truth. He had misconduct in there. He had, oh my God, go take a look at it and go look the crap up. It's funny stuff. I sent him that in an email. And I put at the bottom, see you in court, fool. Is that a vicious email? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Is that technical harassment? Giving him his own court case that he lost? Now, the next thing I put into that email, the new one today, I put, Dear Spanky. And when he starts the letter, he's going to say, what the fuck is, oh, excuse me, what the hell is that, Dear Spanky? And I told him, I said, you know what? I want to give you a heads up and a notice. If you pull the shenanigans on me that you have pulled for hundreds or thousands of people, I will file sanctions. Sanctions means I run over to the court, I file a paper that says, fine him $10,000. Fine him $50,000. That's a sanction. I said, I'll sanction you so quickly you won't believe it. And I said, if you do anything criminal, I'll report it to the DA and I'll follow through on it. Just a notice. Just a notice. No threat, no violation to you or harm or anything else. Just that I'm not going to put up with your shenanigans. Here's the brilliant part. I wrote one paragraph. Your appearance today in court was shabby. Just as I had predicted, you're not a real attorney. You're a paper pusher and a bully. Then I put my last paragraph in. This is the brilliant one. This is the brilliant one because no one has ever thought of this. You are hearing it from the only human in the world that has done this. I put, Dear Spanky. I love it. I want to inform you that I am disabled. I am legally disabled and I am qualified under the Americans with Disability Act. And all I have to do, and that's what I'm doing now, is ask you for a reasonable accommodation. Now, under the law, if the reasonable accommodation in court disrupts the court process or system, you don't have to give it. But if it doesn't disrupt, you're mandated to give it. Because of my mental disability, I have a difficulty with memory. God, I've got 1 million people that will testify to that now, don't I? And I have to give names to people and places that I can remember. You can see I can't remember in my brain the words and places and things. I'm not lying. So, I'm going to give you a new name. I love that phrase. I'm going to give you a new name. Spanky. And I said, I will be addressing you by Spanky from this point forward. If you're confused or think I can't do this, please refer to the Americans with Disability Act law. Merry Christmas, Spanky! And then I read it. I said, send. I said, I'm sending it. Screw it. Screw it. So anyway, I wanted to report to you my court case today, how much fun I'm having and how miserable he is. He was dancing like a wild chicken in there going, you know, he's not a trial attorney. He's a paper pusher. That's all he does. And you guys and me don't know the law, so he pushes over us, gets a judgment, They wanted me to disclose to them all of my assets and all of the things that they can steal from the judgment. And the judge said to me, he says, "Bard, do they have a judgment against you?" I said, "No, sir. And they're not going to get one." "No, sir." His eyes opened, and then he looked over at Santa and just simply said, "We're going to hear this case." Set it for the March 24th. So anyway, it's fun. It's fun, and I just advise everybody, don't let people run over you. Don't let people take advantage of you. Stand up. Is every fight worth standing up? No. But there's some that are principles. I'm doing what you guys want to do every damn day. You can't. You're raising kids. You're working 2 jobs. You barely sleep at night. You're arguing with your wife. You think you might get fired. The damn car didn't start. The mortgage is 13 or 14 days behind. You can't do it. And I understand that. You can't do it. I can. I just sit in a chair and find shit when people are cheating you and me. I stand up. I wish I was an attorney in some ways, but I'm glad I'm not, because you can't call him Spanky. If you're an attorney, that's unethical. But if you're a bard, there's the law. He'll go to court with a motion to say that he can't call me Spanky. I'll go in and say, ADA says I can, Your Honor. Look it up. It's an accommodation. And now I can remember who he is. You people can testify. I said I'll bring in 1 million witnesses that said the bard's memory is failing. He does have to make up words to remember shit. With Abigail driving, I made up the word Stupidville. And we all know in the family what Stupidville is. It's following too close. You're in Stupidville. Back up. Back up. And let's see, I've got names for other things. Let's see, I can't remember right now. I'm just too excited. And I did take my meds. Let me close by this. This is a more serious subject, a little bit. I had a black man put a comment in, and he said, please don't use the word nigger. No black people are going to respect you. Now, I respect him writing in and him saying that. I'm sure that was heartfelt and reasonable to him. Now here's my response back to all of you. When black men and black women quit using the word nigger, I will. But when you put it in your songs, and I'm the nigger that screws the tree, I'm the nigger that flies through the air, I'm the nigger, follow the nigger, screw you. You go to your people, you go to your children, and you say, don't listen to that music. When artists use the word nigger, it goes into the entire world. The BARD ain't that big. I don't go into the entire world. So, you black people that don't like me to use the word nigger, you go to your people. When I hear it taken out of the records, when I hear the CDs and the MP3 and me, all the little plug-in shits that my kids do, I sit in this house, and me and the kangaroos have to listen to the teenagers. I'm the black nigger. I'm the blackie. I got too much junk in the trunk. I kill people. Screw you. Don't you jump on me. You go jump on your own people, and then I'll respect you. But as long as you let your niggers put that music out, stand on the corner, put graffiti everywhere, screw anything that moves, don't come to me and say that's offensive. It is offensive to me. I never really heard that word until I was in my late 20s. That's the first time I heard the word nigger. I didn't even know what it meant. But your people do. You stop using the word nigger. I'll be right behind you. So, pay me, lay me, and nail me. Oh God, hear the words of my mouth. Health and enable, marrow and the bone, strength and loin and sinew, power and priesthood be upon me and upon my posterity through all generations of time and throughout all eternity. And don't cut my throat, don't tear out my heart, and don't pull out my guts. And I have to tell you something today. So it's already a fact. It's already a fact. I got out of bed, put on my suit clothes, because, you don't go like this to court, and went to tie my tie. Now, I'm almost 70 years old, and I was a Mormon. From the time I was 10 or 12, I've worn a tie, never a bow tie or anything that clips on. I've always tied my tie. My mind totally lost that information. I put my hands up, they wouldn't go anywhere. They wouldn't go anywhere. And I thought, what the hell? How did I lose the ability to tie a tie? And thank God for my little Allison. I said, Allison, will you come in here and help Dad again? She comes in and she tries to tie it, and I'm, hang down your head, Tom Dooley, when she ties my tie. So anyway, I had to go in with no tie. But see, I'm disabled. And I have to basically give that a name. And it's called Tom Dooley. It means I can't tie my tie. If I get on the intercom right now and say, Allison, would you come in? It's Tom Dooley time. She comes in and tries to help do the tie. So I am disabled. I do have a right to anything that does not materially disrupt the court. If I say, I don't want the judge sitting in here, that ain't going to fly in a million years. That's material, and it disrupts the court. But saying, I want to call him Spanky because I can't remember his name, and if you want, I'll call him Mr. Spanky. What's the judge going to say? He's going to look down at Santa and say, I've never seen anything like this. He may be right. It may be an accommodation, and it's not disrupting the court. He may have the power to call you by another name. And Spanky's probably better than the name he would really give you. So anyway, I'll try to keep you updated. If I lose, the videos are gone. I'll be down at the point of the mountain. I hope I can have a kangaroo for a cellmate. I don't want Bubba. I'll take the kangaroo. Anyway, this BARD's gone.